welcome back to Simply Basic Recipes. Today I'm going to show you how to do a cake from the Disney movie Frozen. And this is going to be called Olaf and the Summer Cake. And I'm not going to go through a whole list of ingredients at the beginning of the video. What I'm going to do is just go step by step here. And the first thing you're going to need is some blue candy melts and a little squirt bottle, because we're going to make some little snowflakes on top of parchment paper here. So go ahead and melt your candy melts and we'll be right back and I'll show you how to make the snowflakes. Okay, I've melted my blue candy melts in the squirt bottle, and I have a number 6 tip on the top of the bottle. It's a round tip, and we're gonna pipe some big snowflakes and also some small snowflakes. So to give you an idea, I'm gonna pipe the first couple here. So a snowflake has 6 sides. So you're gonna start out by making, an X. And you can touch this up as you go, because these will take a few minutes to set anyway. Then we're going to go one line down the middle. Make these a little bit longer on the ends. And let's see, we're going to have some pretty little designs coming out the top. Okay, these are what my finished snowflakes look like. I'm just going to put them in the fridge for about 10 or 15 minutes until they set. And we're going to go ahead and frost the cake in the meantime. Okay, so for the purposes of the video, I'm not going to make this cake very, very big. I'm going to do a 6-inch cake, and I'm going to do it in 3 layers. You're going to need some white frosting and some blue frosting for this part of the video. So go ahead and we're just going to frost the inside of the layers. Now for the top, we're only going to do about 3/4 of it in white, because we're going to do the rest in blue to make it look like an ocean. And it doesn't really matter if the top is completely flat, because this is going to be sand anyway, and it can be wavy sand, doesn't matter. And as far as the water goes, you don't really want it completely flat anyway. Okay, now we've got this little part left, so I'm going to go up the sides and go ahead and frost all of those with white icing also. Okay, and I completely forgot to start the video, but with the place that you left open with the white, you're wanting to add the blue frosting to that. And it doesn't have to be flat. You can leave it a little bit lumpy so it looks like there's some waves there. And like I was saying that before I had the video cut on, you don't have to have the cake completely flat, because you want it to have some kind of texture in the frosting to make it look kind of like snow. And we're going to add some sugar sprinkles to make it look shiny, and we're also going to add the snowflakes. So it's going to be really pretty when we get finished. So let's go ahead and check on our snowflakes that we have in the fridge right now. Alright, this is what the snowflakes look like. So you're just going to take a spatula and slide it under there, and they come right off the parchment paper. And some of these snowflakes have the little points on top where whenever I let go of the bottle, it left the points, but you can just break those right off and smooth them out with your finger, and it looks perfect. So what we're going to do with the snowflakes is just stick them to the side of the cake, and they will stick right to the frosting. Now take some of your white sugar sprinkles, and we're going to just pour some in our hands and tilt the cake up a little bit. And we're just going to sprinkle those on the cake and make the snow look really shiny. Now I think I'm going to take some blue sugar sprinkles also, and I'm going to put some of these in the water just to make the water glisten a little bit. And it's probably really hard for you to see these sprinkles in the video because they're the same color as the frosting on the cake. But it's really, really pretty in person. The whole cake just glistens with the shimmer from the sprinkles. So for the next step, I've got a few graham crackers here, and I'm going to break them into my little measuring cup. And you can take a mini chopper or food processor, whatever you want, to chop these up really fine. I'm going to use my Cuisinart hand blender. Alright, now this will be my beach sand. So we're going to just take some of these crumbs, and careful not to get it on any other part of the cake. And we're just going to sprinkle that on top. And by the way, I used whipped frosting for my cake because I figured it would taste pretty good with the graham cracker crumbs on top. Alright, I'm going to set up the scene before we actually get into making Olaf because I need to know how big I want to make him. So I'm going to make a beach blanket out of fruit by the foot. And I think I'm just going to cut it off. Just going to eyeball it. Probably going to use a couple strips of the same length. And kind of slant it a little bit. And I think we're just going to need 2 pieces of this. Okay, we've got his beach blanket. And I made this little umbrella. I know you could get the little cocktail umbrellas, but I could not find any in the store. So I'm just going to use this one. And I'm going to stick this up here at the top. And I made him a little drink, and it looks like a strawberry lemonade. All I did was shape a pink marshmallow to a shape of a tall glass, and I used a red starburst and just snipped a piece off with the scissors and rolled it up to make a little straw shape. And we're just going to put this in here. And I'm holding it in here with a toothpick. And it looks like he's got a little drink beside him. Okay, for Olaf's body, you're going to need some white candy coating, your scissors, a giant marshmallow, 2 jet puff marshmallows, and 2 miniature marshmallows. Now we're going to leave the mini marshmallows as they are. We're not going to cut them. And the giant marshmallow, you're going to have to cut it a little bit to shape his body because you don't want the bottom to be very tall. So we're going to snip a little off the top. And his body is more rounded, so we're going to make this a round shape. So we're going to cut off the corners. And for his middle portion, we're going to leave the jet puff marshmallow the size that it is, but we're going to cut off a little bit of it to make it a little bit shorter for his midsection. So for his face, it's more, you're going to start out with a V shape. So we're going to cut a V out of the jet puffed marshmallow. And that'll give you the bottom part of his face. Then we're going to take the top of the jet puff marshmallow that we just cut off, and we're going to make it just a little bit shorter. And when it sits on here, let's see, it's going to look something like this. So it'll give you more of the shape of his face. So we're going to let these sit here for a minute, and we're going to melt our white candy coating, and we'll come back and dip them. Now we are ready to dip. So take your bottom piece and just drop it in the candy coating and coat it really quickly. And pick it up with a fork and shake off the extra candy coating. And lay it face up on parchment paper. We'll move these pieces to the fridge, and whenever they come out, we'll glue them together with the candy melts. Okay, so this is what we want Olaf's body to look like when it's assembled and lying down. So I'm going to take the bottom, and we're going to get a fork and our candy melts or toothpick or whatever you want to use. And I'm just going to add some candy coating to the top of the foot. And then press it onto the bottom. And this will be a glue, and whenever that sets, it will hold like that in that position. In the meantime, while we wait on Olaf to set, we can actually start making his hands. So take some dark brown candy melts and we're just going to pipe out a little stick looking arm here. And we'll add some little fingers to the end. Just like that, and when that sets we can pull those off the same way we did Olaf, and we can glue them to the sides of him for his arms. You're also going to need either some black candy melts or some black decorating icing. And I've got an orange starburst that we're going to shape his nose out of. So let's just cut the starburst about 1/3 of it. And you can just shape this with your fingers. And that looks good. That looks about like Olaf's nose. So we'll just let that hang out here for a little while until we get ready to put that on. Okay, I think Olaf is pretty well set. So I'm going to take the nose and just dip it, the back of it, into the white candy coating. And I'm going to stick that on his face. One thing that I forgot to tell you to pipe out is a few little strips of these candy coatings for his hair too. So, oops, let's go ahead and do a few of those also. And while we wait on that, we're going to go ahead and pipe the buttons on him. So let's go ahead and do that. He's got one on his midsection and he has two on the bottom section. Okay, now I know you probably won't be able to see me do this very well because of his nose in the way there, but I'm going to actually pipe some sunglasses on him with this black decorating icing. So I'm going to attempt that. And now we're going to pipe him just a little smile on his face. Now I'm going to take another miniature marshmallow and I'm going to cut off a very, very tiny piece to make his teeth. So we'll just squish that around a little bit, make it kind of big, and I'm going to stick it in the top of his mouth. Now we just need to glue his arms and his hair on, so I'm going to take some more of the white candy coating and glob it on the end of his hand. And we're just going to lay that on the board because we want it to look like he's relaxing. Alright you guys, this is my finished Disney's Frozen Olaf in Summer cake. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like and please also subscribe because I come out with a new video every Sunday. And I will see you next week guys on Simply Basic Recipes. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.